Nerds at the Cool Table. Um, this is, I don't remember the number of the episode, but we're just kind of calling it the title. This is a very sort of impromptu discussion about Thunderbolts. I realized we didn't do an episode talking about Brave New World. I feel like it came and went. But I think Thunderbolts was impactful enough for pretty much the overall MCU and pretty much for most of us. I think we really, really liked it. I feel like it warranted us sort of like getting together and kind of talking about it. Just to kind of get our thoughts. We were like furiously texting yesterday, but I felt like, hey, let's actually like record this and like talk about what we thought about this movie. I saw it yesterday. Julian, you saw it on Friday. First of all, tell me why you were so why were you worried about spoilers? I guess I mean I know that everything now gets spoiled immediately, but like why this one specifically?
I think basically because for one, after watching Captain America, brand new world, Brave New World, I feel
Mhm.
like the trailers already give me enough to where I could kind of break down and see where the movie is gonna go for the most
Yeah,
part, to
yeah,
where I feel like people are just kind of like excited about spoiling stuff like the next day after they see it online, where I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm trying to, I don't want to, I like the trailers are good enough for me, and I only really watched like it was the two main trailers and
yeah,
the uh the the A24 one. So
yeah, yeah.
I kind of wanted to go with it into this
Oh
movie
yeah,
with
I
just,
forgot about that. They did do one like that.
yeah, those are the only trailers I really saw. So I
Yeah,
wanted to go into this movie a little like dark, like a little bit
a
with
bit,
less
a
information.
bit in the dark. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And no, that helped because literally right after I walked out of the theater, the movie was being spoiled everywhere. And I also kind of already like the day, because I usually like to see the movie on Thursday, but I saw it on Friday
yeah.
like early, and I think the day Wednesday night, like I saw something, I was like, I gotta get off the internet, like because they like people were putting up the whole after credit scene, and yeah,
Oh
I didn't
man,
want
yeah.
I didn't want to get that ruined for me.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't worried about spoilers until you sort of like pointed it out that you had seen somebody like post a scene of the post credit scene, and the more I kept reading about how it's like when the reviews were coming out, where it's like, oh, it's the best movie since Endgame. This post credit scene is like 2 minutes long. I was like, okay, there's gonna be something there. And again, like I've said since I think since Kang, since what's his name, since Ant Man, Quantumania, that like I'm very much like I want to enjoy the story. I really don't want to care about the post credit scene.
Hmm.
But I felt like this post credit scene was important, especially
Yeah,
with the next
it
movie.
was finally one that actually was kind of important, and I don't think we've gotten one in a
Yeah,
while.
which is wild because I'm just thinking about like right. Okay, just off top of my head, post credit scenes that kind of like haven't had any kind of payoff. Like Eternals, we had what's his name, Harry Styles, at the end of that, and there's been no payoff, no hint, no nothing after that. Like what's happening? You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like um, this definitely felt like okay, like we want to give you guys something that's actually gonna feel like it's gonna matter in like a year.
Hmm.
Um, for me, I obviously like I did my best to avoid spoilers, and luckily my algorithm right now is still on like on Sinners discourse. So like the majority of the movie talk on my algorithm right now is all Sinners, which is fantastic. Everybody go see it. Um, but so like I didn't, I did my best to like not search anything or just kind of look anything up because I know that anything that pops up, anything that any hint of whatever might be in the post credit, immediately like my brain starts kind of going, and I'm just oh, it's probably this. I'm glad I waited. I'm glad that I kind of like got a chance to. I did, although do want to say though I did get spoiled the real title of it the day I was going into the movie theater.
Yeah,
I got the new Avengers. Like the funny thing is like Marvel themselves spoiled it because they were
yeah.
doing a little campaign. So
It was a part of the marketing, and I feel like
yeah,
I think we all kind of figured they were going to be called the New Avengers or Dark Avengers with the asterisks
yes,
happening. So I kind of
yeah.
we kind of already felt that was going to happen, but it was I actually think it was smart of them to
Hmm.
uh do that. Like they left it up to like the fans to like, you know, decide if these
Figure it
were going
out.
to be the, yeah, to figure it out,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool because I mean they could easily, and it
Yeah.
probably it could for general populate like general viewers that aren't like really into all the Marvel stuff, it
Yeah.
might have done the movie uh a service to just call the movie the New Avengers because the name Avengers is such a thing
Yeah.
that everybody knows and
Yeah.
nobody really knows what Thunderbolts is. But
Yeah.
I like that they called it Thunderbolts and it left it up to people like, oh, well, what are like what is
Yeah.
this? You know?
I was when I was watching just a few recap videos earlier today, I saw that apparently apparently Kevin Feige, it was Kevin Feige's idea to sort of end it the way he ended it, where like in the credits, so they get announced as the new Avengers at the end of it during a press conference, and then immediately goes into the credits, and the credits are like snippets of like newspapers and like the media sort of like trashing the new Avengers and kind of criticizing them. And
Hmm.
apparently, like Kevin Feige, that was his idea because he's like, he knew that if we just ended it on the new Avengers, like the online discourse would be like, what? Who are these Avengers? They're not the real Avengers. It should be this person. So they got ahead of it so that as the credits are sort of going, you as a viewer, you start defending these critiques and going like, no, these are Avengers because they did this. So he got ahead of it, and I think it's really fucking smart because like we walk out of the theater going like, yeah, I care about these Avengers. Like I want to see them succeed. Like even when at the very, I mean, we're gonna get into the post credit scene, but like the post credit scene kind of gives us a hint that there's the real Avengers, which are the ones that are run by Captain America. And then there's these Avengers, which are like the B level Avengers, but like there's sort of going to be that conflict, and us as the audience who care about these characters are like, no, these guys should be the real Avengers. Like fuck the other guys, you know what I mean? Like so, I
Hmm.
think like they're really smart on how they sort of like built that in narratively, so that we didn't come out talking trash online, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Um, no, I enjoyed that too. I really think that I really like that they left it up to the fans to, be like, oh, or do we like this? Do we like them to be the new Avengers? Like, because it
yeah,
felt very them like throughout the movie, them becoming a team, it felt earned, like
yeah,
as the movie was going. So
yeah,
you don't feel away
yeah.
when they say like, oh, new Avengers. I'm like,
These are the
okay, yeah,
new, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I think it helps because when I was getting out of the theater, I was trying to recount exactly where the other Avengers are, and I feel like it helps for those fans who are like, well, the Avengers eventually essentially abandoned everybody, so like this is who we're stuck with, and this is who we're gonna ride with.
Hmm.
Like here comes like Sam's Captain America trying to assemble his version of the Avengers, like which are probably characters that we know, but like where have you guys been the last 4 years? Where have you guys been the last 5 years? Like we
Hmm.
get these are the guys that decided to say that saved New York. You know what I mean?
And
Um,
copy and tried to copyright the name.
and try to do some real corporate shit. Which is funny. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if that's on the Twitter or on the Threads account. Like it says like Avengers, and then it's like a copyright symbol
It
next
has a
to it.
copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah.
But like the movie overall, let's get into that. Like your thoughts overall on the movie. What did you think?
Man, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. It had like that. It has the like. I love the like. My favorite Marvel movies are the kind of the Captain America ones for the most part, and it
Mm-hmm.
had that like. I love the grounded. When I love the more earth based. Um, when I say let me go back. When I say Captain America movies, I mean like Winter Soldier and Civil War and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I love like when stuff is a little more on world and feel a little more real. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun when it's fantastical, like in space, like Guardians of the Galaxy. But I kind of missed this kind of style and
The
this like
grounded superheroes.
the grounded New York battle in New York type of stuff. And I love character driven stuff. And I felt like this movie gave us all these characters that I don't think any of us really cared about and really got into like their characters. Like I actually want to know what happens next with Yelena and like U.S. agent. It gave us
Yeah.
like a lot more for
Yeah.
us to chew on with those characters. Because like the last time we've, for the most part, most of these characters we've only seen like one other time, except for
Yeah.
Bucky and Elena, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so, yeah, I really enjoy, like, especially Ghost. The last time we saw her was in 2018 or something like
Yeah, I was
that.
trying to remember
Like,
when the last when Ant-Man 2 came out, but you're right. We It's been like 6 years.
yeah, so it was like, but I enjoyed her too. I like the her fighting style was cool.
It was
She
it
had,
improved a lot. It was so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I like the thing, she had some like cool, funny little lines sometimes. Yeah, I love that it was so character driven. I love the themes. I think them touching on the, how all these people aren't perfect and
Yeah.
aren't, uh, no one's all right,
Yeah.
and
They're broken. They're essentially broken characters.
exactly all these
Yeah.
broken characters and all it's showing all their flaws, but at the set, but and it shows like that's why I was saying it's cool and it's earned because they all come
Yeah.
together and it makes them kind of whole when they're
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was dope. I thought the action scenes were really tight. Even the ones that we kind of saw in the trailer already, I thought still within the movie they were really dope. I think the scene with Bucky when he's basically the Terminator, I that scene is so dope to me. Even seeing
Coolest
it on
fucking
screen,
scene,
it's
dude.
so
Like
cool.
I felt like I was 8 years old watching Terminator 2 for the first time. That was a fucking solid scene.
That's like what that might be Bucky's best moment of the entire
Yeah.
Marvel universe.
Easily tops on, and I think they did it for a reason, because it definitely tops the scene from Winter Soldier when he attacks Nick Fury's car, and
Hmm.
he, like, you first see him use that same weapon, and like he does all this shit where he can, like, they definitely did it to try to sort of like go like, oh, this was Bucky as a bad guy, now this is him as a good guy.
Yeah,
Topped it for me completely.
I even liked his like just going off more things I like. I even liked his music in that scene. It's like they gave him his own theme, even though he
Yeah.
already kind of had his own theme. I
Yeah.
did like the music in this. I wish what they would have done is they would have added some of his theme or the sound effects from that he had in that they've had the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier thing where it had
Yeah.
that weird scream sound.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
have had
Uh-huh.
something like that added into that, that would have been cool. But
Yeah.
I still liked it. I thought the
Yeah.
music was really the soundtrack and the music was really good.
Yes.
Um, this movie really it felt like Guardians of the Galaxy, but less jokey
Okay.
and with less that wouldn't I'd said it on my review, less, not the no needle drops that James Gunn likes to give us, which
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
it was like a real life theme. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, there's like so
Yeah.
much about this movie that I really really liked. I wish it was a little longer.
Me
um
too. Same. Agreed.
um this is, yeah, usually I'd be like, man, this movie's dragging, but I felt like it was moving so fast where I was like, oh, we could have used a little
Hmm.
more time, but
Yeah.
it was good. I
Yeah.
for the most part. Like, what about you?
Yeah. Um, it's funny you mentioned James Gunn, because I think I might have mentioned this in our text, but I kind of went into this sort of expecting Marvel's Suicide Squad, right?
Hmm.
And I know that that's kind of their comparison. I think this topped it because, like, I think with Suicide Squad, they get away with like these over the top sort of like flaws these characters have. Like they're just like, oh, this guy fucking ate people like in this random country. Like the flaws are so over the top that you're just like, that's insane, right? But these characters, like, yeah, they're broken and they have these sort of like, but they're very weirdly relatable issues, and in a weird way, like, um, these are these are like the like almost like the mental health Avengers, I guess, because like every single one of them has like a mental disorder. Like, you got like depression, you get anxiety, you got narcissism, you got like, what do you
So
call it? Like,
I saw someone compare this to Inside Out 2,
oh
where it
my
has
God,
all
that's
the
perfect.
yeah. So I was like,
Anger,
yeah, it has all of
anxiety.
the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
characters of Inside Out 2, and I was like, oh yeah, kind of. That's funny.
I didn't think about that. That's pretty good. No, I liked it for that, and I think I think that was one of the first things I texted you guys was that this felt like an inverse Avengers, right? Like these guys saved New York the same way the Avengers did, but they did it by literally going inside the mind of the antagonist and fighting him there in like a different way, with where the Avengers themselves had to fight external threats from space. These guys went inside the mind and had to fight their own demons and fight like this guy's own demon himself and kind of help him sort of recover in a way, with the power of friendship, like how it is, because that's what it felt like at the end. Is like with the power of friendship, they helped everybody.
They
Um,
won like Toy Story 3, like
by hugging each other, the power of friendship. It's a very
yep.
anime type of rescue. No, but like I thought it was so well done in that way, because it didn't like it didn't feel jokey or silly. Like there was dark humor, like very dark humor, but there was no like that sarcasm that we've had with the Avengers, right? It's like
Mhm.
very like, I'm gonna kill myself, but like, oh, okay, let's do that. Let's shoot this guy over here. Like I thought it was so well done and how they did that, while also like, so as somebody who's kind of had depressive episodes and also have met people with depressive episodes and know and love people that have depressive episodes, they did such a good job of like showing that like how when you're in a depressive episode, just like it just feels like maybe I shouldn't exist. And the way they sort of like even show when like as a depressive person you meet somebody who has even darker depression and you're like, oh shit,
Mhm.
like you're much in deeper than I am, kind of thing. But like
Mhm.
you still sort of know how to reach that person and sort of be like, maybe I can't get you out of your depression, but I can have you here with me while you're going through this so that you don't feel alone. And the way they like, they even show it in the post credit where like, yeah, like Sentry's not doing anything, but he's there with
Mhm.
them. He's in their clubhouse. He's sort of living it up, doing the dishes, like he says. You know
Doing the
what I mean?
dishes, yeah, exactly.
Because they're gonna use him in Doomsday,
Oh no,
but
yeah,
like they're
he's
like,
Century's popping out.
yeah. So they're like, we're gonna prevent you from getting to that dark place by having you around us, kind of thing. And I thought they did such a good job with that. And I think just off of that, it raises like now that I'm talking about it, the movie is sort of kind of coming up in my rankings a little bit just because of
Hmm.
how they touched on it. I mean, they touched on it. They touched on it like in Deadpool and Wolverine, where Wolverine is in that really dark place. But I think
Yeah.
Wolverine has always been in that dark place, and what he
Hmm.
does is like he drinks himself to almost dying and tries to go kill people. So that doesn't feel relatable. It just feels like, well, that's what Wolverine's gonna do. But this one, the it was very relatable because all of these heroes are essentially, except for like Red Guardian and Ghost, like they're human, like they're vulnerable people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like um and so like they don't have superpowers technically, right? um so I thought they did a good job with that. And then like I said, the inverse Avengers, like them rescuing people like in the same area that the Avengers had their battle of New York, like I thought that was cool. And I think one of my what I really liked, even though like I know it could come off cheesy, was like them showing them like showing the Thunderbolts sort of rescuing people and doing these like, oh, they saved this person, and they say, Bucky like, uses his arm to block a fucking truck. And
Hmm.
I mean, although it gets pretty dark when Red Guardian saves the little girl and the little girl gets like
And go to this.
voided immediately.
Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
I do want to get into that though. Like my thing when I saw the trailer was like, how do you fight that? Like I had no idea. Like I thought like he was killing people, right?
Hmm.
And how did you react when it was like, oh, this isn't like they're just going into a different dimension? Like the way this all was set up was in a way where like I even thought that they actually killed Yelena. Like I thought that was like, oh, they actually killed her. Like they'll get her back, but I thought that it was like a situation like the snap. I thought they were just killing people that way.
So you're asking me what did I think was happening when Void was
What did you
wiping
think
people
was
out?
that, or did you know that it was like
I
they
didn't
went to
really
different dimensions?
know. I just thought he was like, I kind of had a feeling he was taking him somewhere. I just didn't know where. Because I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
had to, like I knew the movie wasn't gonna just end with with him just turning all of. I mean,
Yeah,
they could have ended
yeah,
like that. That would have been
yeah,
dark, but like,
yeah,
but I wasn't sure, but I kind of expected like, oh, they're especially when she started walking into it. I kind of was like, oh, they're like she's she's going into him because he's taking people somewhere else. You know what I kind of had a feeling of? I was like, oh,
yeah.
maybe he's taking them. Maybe the void is the void. Like,
Okay.
isn't that place the void called like where the multiverse is? Where
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh,
Isn't
yes.
that place called the Void?
Yeah, it's called The Void. Yeah.
So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe he literally is the Void, like inside,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
he's
didn't think
taking
about
all those
that.
people to like that
To where
weird
like
mul
the
where
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
gets thrown away in the multiverse. That's where I was like, maybe
Yeah.
that's where they're going, but they
I
didn't.
didn't
They
even
were
think about
just
that until you mentioned it. Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, that place is called the Void too. So I was like, maybe they're like putting
Huh.
that together.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but no, that's kind of what I thought what was happening. I didn't think they were killing her right there. Would have been
I
crazy
my
though.
my thoughts was like at first I thought yeah, I thought it was the same thing like the snap. I thought it was like oh like she's gone and she'll come back in the next movie. Like I thought it was going to
Hmm.
end on a downer kind of thing cuz the next movie was what Fantastic 4. So I was like maybe she'll come back. It was Fantastic 4 then Doomsday. I was like we're going to wait 2 movies to see her again kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um but then obviously like when all of this was happening, all I kept thinking too was like when they show like that wide shot of like all of New York being covered in darkness, I was
Yeah.
like, where the fuck is Spider Man? Where's
I yo,
Daredevil? Like,
I was thinking the same. I literally I was next to Yusuf and I was like, where the fuck is Spider-Man at? Like, why is he helping anything? Does he ever help?
yeah,
But yeah, like when all of New York was getting taken, I that's where it was really making me think like, oh, maybe he's taking them to that other void. He's putting New
yeah,
York in that other void, but that's not
yeah,
what happened. But I
yeah,
mean, I liked how I'm glad that didn't happen because I liked how it ended a little more,
yeah,
and I liked even the scenes where they were in. Well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I mean, we could talk about that, but because we still haven't really talked about Sentry yet.
yeah, yeah,
But um, yeah, even the scene where where she was in the void and
yeah.
like she was going through these
It was
different
different rooms.
rooms and memories or
Yeah,
whatever. I thought that was cool. That was really
yeah.
tight.
It was very Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like when
Yes.
they're sort of like trying to erase the mind and like they're trying to run away from the thing that kind of reminded me of that a little bit,
Yeah,
more
that's a
polished.
good example. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's talk about Sentry. Because we
Okay.
talked about a lot of those other
Yeah.
characters, but we haven't really talked about Sentry.
So I didn't know. This is what I was like. I was watching some videos before. I had no idea Sentry's kind of new. Like he's not that of a
Hmm.
like he's not.
Yeah,
He
he's
hasn't been
fairly young.
around for a long time.
No,
So and I
he
like
came
the
out in the new Avenger. He came out in the new
yeah
Avengers books. Yeah.
yes yeah. And I was watching that like they did a whole retcon to make it seem like he's been around since the beginning. He's just been
Yeah,
hiding, sort of thing.
yeah. So, not exactly hiding. I'm so glad they didn't put that in the books or in the
Okay,
movie. I was
in
like,
the movie.
that part of his origin is the one thing I really don't like. So
Okay.
basically, he was a hero. That
Hmm.
well, first off, he was a drug addict, and that they gave him a different version of the super soldier syndrome, like we see in the movie. And he has been around supposedly since the beginning. And then he realized he has the void in him, and the void is he knows is really powerful. So he gets Mr. Fantastic to help him forget that he's the void as well as everyone else in the Marvel universe.
Hmm.
So everyone,
Okay.
so yes, essentially he was around back since the beginning, and he was an Avenger or whatever, and just nobody remembers him.
Hmm.
I never liked that idea, and
Okay.
I was like, I don't think that would have worked in the MCU, and I'm so glad they took it out. I don't see
Yeah.
how that could have like we've literally watched all the movies, so it's like that would have confused the fuck out of
Yeah.
everybody.
It would
Like
it
if we
would it would have confused me too, because then it raises if anything it raises more questions than it answers.
exactly. So I'm glad they
Yeah.
took that part of it. But essentially, like I actually that's why I was saying I actually enjoy what they did with the Sentry character in the movie a lot more because
Hmm.
the Bob character, it seems like from what I'm seeing in the movie that Sentry is essentially three people.
Mm.
It's Bob, the Void, and Sentry.
Okay.
In the books, it's just Sentry and the Void. Like, what's his name? Robert Reynolds, Bob Reynolds, I think. I can't remember his last name.
Robert Reynolds, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so Robert Reynolds is the Sentry, and he becomes the Sentry because he takes the super soldier serum,
Yeah.
and then there's the Void. So, but I like that this Bob character is literally his own thing, and
Yeah.
he's not really aware of it. of what's going on. Like even at the end of the movie, we hear him say like, "What just happened?" and his hair is
Yeah.
back to its normal color and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so I,
He
I,
starts
I
clapping along with everybody.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, like bro, you're a part of this team. What are you clapping for?
yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think I like that they made it three sort of. It makes it a little more complex to
Hmm.
in for me, and
Yeah.
it seems like uh Sentry is more of uh the the like what's the word I'm looking for? He's more of like just the I don't want to say the superhero uh component, but like he's just more like opinionated.
Superhuman.
Seems like look no like he's a little more opinion like just the way that he was comparing himself to Thor. Like he was like, oh, I'm like I'm a
Yes.
god just like that. I don't think
He has delusions of grandeur, because when they were
uh,
reading like his file, they were like delusions of grandeur or like depression and stuff, like saying that that was like an aspect of his condition.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's not wrong. He Loki he is stronger than all of the original Avengers. He might be stronger than Thor, and I would love to
Yeah.
see them fight in Doomsday. I feel like that's gonna the fight between them and Sentry and Thor, Sentry and Captain Marvel is gonna be really interesting to
Yeah.
see.
You know, he reminded me a lot, and I think it's because we've been watching a bit. He's essentially like like Marvel's Homelander. I mean, I know it's like all a play on Superman essentially, but it's very much like Marvel's Homelander, like created in a lab. Like obviously,
Hmm.
like he's a good guy, but like the way when he was like bad and he was kind of like fighting everybody, it felt like they were like, oh, this is like our Homelander kind of thing. You know, he's a guy who's been
Yeah,
created by a corporation and all that.
not evil like home. Well, not the Void, but not
Yeah.
evil like home. But yeah, he's literally like a you know government sanctioned
Mm-hmm.
made superhero. They're like trying
Superhero.
to,
Yeah.
exactly like
Yeah. Yeah.
they die figuring out what like the paper literally was saying which hair colors trended the
Yeah.
best and what S's and everything.
I was thinking, because I remember there was, before the movie was made, like there was obviously like the casting rumors that Steven Yeun was going to be the Sentry. And while I was watching the movie, I kept thinking, I'm like, how, just kept imagining him. And I could see a version of this movie with Steven Yeun, but this guy who played, his name is Lois Pullman, right?
Louis Pullman,
Um,
yeah,
the guy who played Sentry, I thought he did a fantastic job. Like
awesome job.
he does this thing with his face that's so unassuming, while he's like also saying the most horrible shit or doing some horrible shit. Like it's very serial killer vibes, and I think that's kind of the his appeal in a little bit, in the way kind of how he looks very unassuming, like very broy, and then he's like he can like choke you out and kill
He
you kind of thing.
he played it great in both ways because even when he was just Bob in the beginning, you see him and
Mm-hmm.
he feels very like just quirky, kind of
Yeah.
like dopey, but
Yeah.
very innocent. He's like
Yeah.
very child, like a child innocence.
Yeah.
But then when you like, there's a moment when he is looking at U.S. Agent when he puts him into the void
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, and you see this
Yeah.
look of like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurt you. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it gets real like, or when U.S. Agent had him choked up and his eyes started glowing, he has like
Yeah.
this look of like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a like some like a yo, maybe don't mess with this person. Like there's like a
Yeah.
twitch to
Exactly.
him where it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? How did you feel they? Do you feel like he turned too quickly? I
That's
thought it was
what
gonna take
you know.
longer. I thought it was gonna take
You know
longer.
what? I think that's a part of the pacing, the part where I could have used a little more time in the movie
Mm,
because I think him just going from oh know getting becoming
yeah.
Sentry and him like being in that spot with Valentina and seeing
Mm-hmm.
her history and all that, and then just being down for like oh yeah I want to be the superhero. That kind of happened kind of quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but also that also kind of came off very comic booky. Like
Yeah.
I feel like in a comic book, that's probably how it would happen. But in realistic terms, yeah, I could have used a little more time. Maybe, it could have took them a little longer to get to where they needed to go. Maybe Valentina could have sent some more like soldiers to like try and stop. We could have got another action scene or something just to like
Yeah. Yeah.
spread that out because his turn in the middle did seem a little quick.
Yeah. I
Not
mean,
his turn, not his turn from Sentry to Void,
to
but his
Void,
turn from but his turn
Bob to
from
Sentry.
Bob to Sentry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think she did. I think what's her name, Valentina did an amazing job in playing up that whole like manipulative mom kind of type of character,
Hmm.
kind of just making him seem like you're amazing, you're wonderful, and but then also kind of in a narcissistic way, sort of separating him from like the people who care about him, which is like the Thunderbolts, and kind of
Hmm.
raising him up, knowing that I'm like, but I can still control you. I thought she did a fantastic job in that, and I think that that's why I almost forgive how quick the turn happened. I think if there wasn't that kind of back and forth dynamic that we were seeing, I think I would have been like, okay, how did he turn so quickly? But I like that they, like I said, they acknowledge, oh, he has delusions of grandeur, so she played into his
Hmm.
flaws and those things that kind of like his weaknesses essentially to make
Yeah,
him turn into
exactly.
evil.
And even
Um,
her character, like, I mean, she was kind of like she was kind of playing the I don't want to keep comparing it to the boys, but the girl from the lady from season one that was like
yeah,
uh Homelander's like a
yes,
handler. Yeah,
yes,
it was
yes,
kind yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly like that. Um, I like the, I am excited to see him interact with like somebody like Thor, Captain Marvel. How do you think they'll use him then? Like, kind of keep this conversation going on Sentry and what's coming next. Like, how do you feel they're going to use him essentially like in the future or in Doomsday? Do you think he makes it to Secret Wars?
I think he will be in Secret Wars.
Okay.
I'm not sure how he'll be used like just yet.
Hmm.
I feel like seeing him in this, I feel like there's a lot of people who could be used in this um, Molecule Man esque
Mm.
role that I because I don't think they're going to introduce Molecule Man, but I feel like there's a couple different characters that they have in the MCU that they could give to someone else. But
Okay.
there's Loki, there's Scarlet Witch, and now there's Bob. I like to just
Okay.
call him Bob, but
Yeah.
like I feel like I feel like there's a bunch of different characters that could play that part. But I think in Doomsday, we're definitely gonna see. We'll talk about the end credit scene, but we're definitely gonna see a version of two different Avengers teams fighting at some point,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
he's gonna be a break uh break glass in case of emergency type
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
gonna they're gonna let him loose, or he's gonna
Yeah.
let himself loose because he's gonna see his team's losing.
Yeah. Um, do you want to get into the post credit scene and kind of like try to analyze that one a little bit more?
Um, yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the post credit. I was watching and reading something that said that the Russos directed that scene.
Hmm.
And it was on they did it on the secret, sorry, not secret, the Doomsday set. Pretty much, the post credit scene opens up with 14 months later. So apparently
So,
in
so does that mean
2028,
the movie is now like the MCU is now in that scene in 2028? Is that what you said?
2028. Yeah,
Okay.
2028. The way I found out the date was I was watching a video that showed there was like an invitation in Brave New World for like I think the president's thing that they were at and the gala or whatever they were at in the beginning of that movie, and it said like 2027. So this movie takes place after that because they acknowledge the events from Brave New World. So 14 months later it would be 2028. I'm assuming. So, um, yeah. So it's 2028, which is crazy. So now they're way far ahead again. Um,
We were
takes place.
almost like right there in real
We
life. We
were,
were
we were.
almost
I
right
think
there.
during the quarantine and pandemic, like as we were getting out of it, and they just kind of like fast forwarded again.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many
Uh,
heroes out right now. I was just like thinking about like all the heroes we met. We have Moon Knight, Shang-Chi. Um, who else did we get? We got Hawkeye. What's her name? Haley Stanfield as Hawkeye. We have Echo. Who else? We have so many heroes that have like, oh, Miss Marvel, that that we haven't really followed up with them in a while.
mhm.
No, but I was gonna get into that. So 14 months later, they're in Avengers Towers now. They have like new suits. They have a new Avengers logo. Bucky looks like straight out of the comic books with like
Great costume.
luxurious
Looks
fucking
awesome.
hair.
Hair looks
Yeah.
so laid. His hair is laid, unlike
Definitely,
mine, but his
he
hair is
had the
laid.
DJ, he had the DJ Quick, so like perm
Yeah,
going.
it was like
Yeah,
it was awesome.
yeah. We have him. We have now like what's his name? Red Guardian has like a clean mustache, clean shaven. Yelena looking more like her sister Black Widow.
Mhm.
Like it's all very like everybody looks good because they're at Avengers
What's
Tower. They're
what?
being
I saw people kind of making fun of Ghost's hair too, like
oh yeah.
her like flip thing she had going on.
Yeah, yeah. So they're there. They're talking about like something happening in space that nobody's telling them about. So it seems like there's a conflict between their Avengers team and the Avengers team that's being put together by Sam Wilson. They didn't say who's in it, but it seems like like Bucky was sent to go talk to Sam Wilson. Apparently, the
Mhm.
conversations between them kind of fell through, and so now he's like suing them for copyright infringement, which is hilarious. Hilarious.
The
But while
most
that's
non-black thing I've ever heard.
it felt so unrealistic. I want to say that I was just like, that's a white people thing. They be suing for random shit like that. I
It,
was like,
it,
I don't imagine Sam Wilson is fucking suing them for copyright
yeah.
infringement. Um, so my mind starts going crazy, wondering like who's in the Avengers team, right? I guess so when that's happening, Yelena says that there's like a thing happening in space that nobody's talking to them about. And
You know
she,
why? Could I say something about that?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I don't think anyone's talking to them about it because you know who's out in space? Nick Fury, and
Nick
he don't
Fury,
trust them. Nick
yeah,
Fury knows Sam Wilson then, so he's not telling
that's
them
true.
about it. He's telling the other Avenger team about it.
That is true. He doesn't trust Bucky because he has Bucky try to kill him.
He doesn't trust Bucky, but he just doesn't know this team. And he probably
Yeah,
saw
that's true.
the Sentry thing, and he's like, you know what? I know Sam Wilson. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell him what's going on.
yeah, yeah. He's going with his trusted Avengers.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Um, so she goes pull up satellite imagery, and shows the satellite imagery shows a ship coming in from what did they say? Extra dimensional or something like that. Like I
Mhm.
guess they show the ship. Clearly looks like the Fantastic Four ship from the trailer. The ship
Clearly.
turns, and then we see the Fantastic Four logo with the Fantastic Four music, just boom, boom, and then it cuts to black. It raises a couple of questions for me. It was exciting, it was great, it was funny seeing the team dynamics still there. Also exciting because it feels like it leads right into Fantastic Four. My question was, does this spoil Fantastic Four?
I don't think so because we still don't know how it's ending. I mean, we all knew that the Fantastic Four was going to end up in
Yes,
like if anything, you know what spoiled this? All those chairs, because that thing told us everyone who's going to be in this movie.
that is true. That is true. But
So
you know,
like
I yeah, yeah, that's true.
we already knew they were going to show up. Like if you watch the movies, you know that yeah, they're we don't what we don't know is does their world over there end
That's what I'm getting
anything
at.
like that.
That's
We don't know. They might have
yeah,
just came over here.
yeah. It probably could end the same way as the Marvels did, where Monica Rambeau got sent to the X-Men universe
Hmm
through that. Was it an incursion or something they called it?
it was an
Yeah,
incursion. Hmm
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I was wondering because I rewatched. I think before I watched the movie, they showed the Fantastic Four trailer, which is the latest one, which shows Silver. What's not Silver Surfer? What's her name? The girl who's playing Silver Surfer's the female version. What's her
I
name?
mean, she's Silver Surfer.
She's Silver Surfer. Okay,
Hmm
so how
Not
she goes like you're
not the 616 Silver Surfer, but
yeah,
she is a Silver
yeah.
Surfer.
Okay, okay. Just thought she had like a different name.
Hmm
So she says your world has been marked for death or something or for destruction, and
hmm
I was just like, and there was like a shot of the Fantastic Four ship looking at something that looks like Earth blowing up or
hmm
like destroyed. So then
hmm
I'm just like, did that get destroyed? They got sent through the portal. I don't like. It started making my mind go like crazy. I was like, okay, where are we here? Is it spoiling it? Maybe it doesn't spoil it, but I want to know how they get there. You know,
hmm
um, yeah, I don't know. I thought. I
I
mean,
don't
what do you think of the
I
scene?
don't think that they're spoiling the movie. I think that scene in the Fantastic. This is just my thoughts. I think that's a
Hmm.
vision. I
Okay.
think that's
Oh.
someone. I think that's a vision. I think that's a
Okay.
vision. Either someone on the team is seeing that in their head.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Oh, the scene in the Fantastic Four trailer where the thing is with
Where the
Earth is
thing is,
destroying.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
I
that makes
think it
sense.
might be a vision from Reed. He is seeing that, which
Got it.
has him like focused on like how to try. After that, he's like
Yeah.
focused on how to try and stop that. That's what I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
is. So
Okay.
I mean, yes, I do think that Fantastic Four world is going to be destroyed, but I
Hmm.
don't know if we're gonna see that. Not maybe
Okay.
not in the Fantastic Four movie. I don't know.
Okay. How'd you feel about that end credit scene? Like, how did you feel seeing everybody?
I loved it. I love.
What questions were raised in your head when you saw that scene?
Um. Well, first off, I thought it looked great. I loved it felt very different from the rest of the movie. The
Yeah.
colors, it felt a little more colorful. Even the
Yeah.
banter, you could kind of tell it's the Russo brothers. Just
It
the
feels
way
like
that
an
they are
Avengers movie. Yeah.
yeah, the way they're talking is very fast and
Yeah.
like snappy. Like it's like
Yeah.
oh, I was like, okay, this feels like someone else, and I
Yeah.
liked it. I thought everyone looked cool. I like U.S. Agent's little beret.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Because they made fun of his helmet.
and I think it's funny that he still has his
His taco
shield,
shield.
his taco shield. I'm like, no one's
Yeah.
fixed that since
Yeah. In a
last
whole
last
year.
in
Shit.
a whole year. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
okay. And then yeah, I thought that was like one of the like we said earlier, like one of the most important after credit scenes that we've seen
Hmm.
in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and it was like it got me excited like that
Hmm.
clip got me excited to know what is going to happen next.
Yeah. It did the same for me. It did the same for me because like this movie felt like a reset, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense. I feel like I even forgot what phase we were on for a second, but like I didn't even care. It felt like a reset of everything we've been watching. I feel like we got so much Marvel content since Endgame through the quarantine, which was great because we needed all the content we needed during the quarantine. But I think like we got so much and it almost became overwhelming and it became like homework. And I feel like this was such a reset because it was like, okay, you guys watch all of that stuff. This is people that you need to know. Like, you need to know now. This is what the story that we're happening now, and it's going to lead us into this next phase where everything apparently that was chaotic through the quarantine and all this stuff we've been seeing the last 5 years, it's all going to make sense.
Hmm.
Um, and I think because the story was told so well, and even the way the post credit scene was kind of led us into this these next two movies, like it got me excited to go like, okay, I actually care about what's gonna. Not saying that I didn't care for Doomsday, but I will say that the Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, I'm still skeptical. Not saying skeptical that it's gonna be bad, but I'm still questioning that decision, and I'm like, okay,
Cautiously optimistic.
yes, cautiously optimistic, and I'm very
Hmm.
curious of how that's going to turn out and what this like. I don't know. It almost feels like they just kind of put their hand in a bag and we're like, let's pick these action figures to be in the next movie. Like, how's this going to go? I'm actually kind of curious and excited because I feel like these Avengers are sort of going to like kind of be the ones that are kind of holding it together. They're almost like how the Guardians felt like such a kind of the ones that were holding the Avengers movie together in a weird way, like Infinity War and Endgame. That's what these guys feel like. These feel like
Hmm.
the new Guardians of the Galaxy, who are sort of like the ones that are beloved by everybody because they're so fun to kind of be around. They're gonna kind of be the
Hmm.
more humanizing kind of characters, if that makes any sense.
Which is fun
You
because
know?
they're so depressing, but we
Yeah. Yeah. And
such a
you know,
depressing group of people.
and it made me think about like the things that we were excited about when we knew that the Guardians were going to be in Infinity War and Endgame was like, oh, I can't wait to see the interaction between Quill and Tony Stark, or the interaction between Rocket and Bucky. Like, so now we're gonna get like, oh, I want to see the interaction between like, what's his name, Red Guardian and fucking Thor. Like, you know, just I want to see, or like we want to see Miss Marvel fight Sentry. Like those sort of matchups like get exciting. Those kind of dream matches, and like I think it adds to that sort of like, okay, like let's see where we're going with this kind of thing, you know. And the talk of like that Sam and Bucky aren't on good terms because they have opposing Avengers team, and it's like, who's going to be in that team, kind of thing. Like, why is that dynamic like? Why are they crushing? Why are they butting heads? I want to see that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, it added a whole bunch of layers of excitement for the next few movies. Um, Speaking of that, Who do you think is on the Avengers team? On Sam's Avengers team?
On Sam's Avengers team. Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and my list is slightly changed from last time we talked.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, of course, Sam Wilson,
Hmm.
his Falcon.
Okay.
Um, I think Captain Marvel. She's on Earth.
Okay.
She at the end of her movie, she was still on Earth. I
That
think
is true.
Wong.
Okay.
I think Wong. I think Ant Man.
Okay. Of course.
Shang Chi and Shang Chi. Both of them are in San Diego.
That's true.
Um, I think Shuri,
Okay.
and I think She Hulk and Hulk, or one or the other. I feel like She Hulk
She.
is probably going to come back.
Okay. I totally forgot about She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay. So my list. Let me think. So obviously Sam, Falcon. I feel like Quill joins because he's on
You
Earth.
think okay? You think Star Wars? Yeah, he is on Earth.
Yeah. I feel
Might
like
be
Thor.
act. You know what? He actually might be. Oh yeah, forgot about Thor. Yes, I meant he
Yeah.
was on my list. I just forgot about him. But yeah,
Yeah.
Thor. Yes,
Thor.
but I
Um.
was gonna say I think
Yeah.
I would have to look, but I think Star Lord is close to where Captain Marvel is. I think
Yes.
they are close to each other. Like in where they are right now,
Yeah.
I would have to look, but I think they are close to each other.
He's from Missouri.
Uh-huh. And
And
I have to remember I have to remember where that her little cabin barn was, but I
yeah.
don't remember right now.
Wasn't it in Louisiana? Isn't it in the
It
South?
might it might have been in the South, yeah. So they might be
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're pretty close. So I got Sam, Falcon, Quill. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. Wonder Man.
That's possible. Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like he's
I would
one of the
have
He's
he's one of the
newer
newer ones, yeah.
guys. Yeah. Unless
Is that movie is that show coming out this year too?
that's what I was reading. It is coming out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it gets delayed. Who knows? But a part of me feels like Wonder Man. But I feel like Wonder Man feels like somebody that would be recruited by Valentina. Like
Mm,
I feel
it's
like maybe
possible.
she tries to recruit him to the new Avengers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I
Kind of
can
like
see that.
don't
That's
go with the old Avengers. Go to the new Avengers.
and he's also in California, so that makes sense. Ant-Man, Shang-Chi, Wonder Man, all in California.
West Coast Avengers.
Yeah.
So you don't
Hmm.
think that Shang-Chi, you think that, oh, well, because he was talking to Wong. So I feel like Wong would
Yeah,
have, because,
he was talking to Wong, Hulk, and Captain Marvel.
and wasn't it also, what's her name?
Captain
Okoye?
Marvel.
Was it
No,
Okoye?
she wasn't
Remember,
there.
because I was thinking about the after credit scene. Oh,
Yeah,
shit, I just remembered. Yeah,
the
the
after
after
credit
credit scene.
scene. Yeah, the after credit scene of theirs. It had him talking with Captain
Wong.
Marvel, Hulk, and Wong.
That's
It was
true.
just those
That's
three.
true. And they did talk about something coming in from space.
Yeah,
Holy shit. Do you think they were talking about the Fantastic
maybe,
Four?
may, that's the thing. Maybe this thing that they're maybe they accident. See, we don't know. Maybe they accidentally
Oh.
brought Galactus here,
Oh
and their
shit.
world didn't get destroyed. Maybe they brought Galactus here. Maybe we're gonna
Oh
see
shit.
them have to
I'm fucking hyped now. That shit got me excited. I'm gonna go
like we
rewatch
don't
Shang-Chi, man.
like we don't know what is in outer space. Like it could
Yeah.
be maybe at the end of
Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four, we're going to see the real Silver Surfer, and he's
Yeah.
going like we because I still think like that little mess up that Lakeith Stanfield did on Library was like, oh, I thought I was the Silver. I thought I got this role.
Oh,
I
so you think
think
Lakeith is actually Silver
I
Surfer for real?
I kind of do think I don't think that was an accident because he deleted
he,
that so quick.
he fucked
He deleted
up.
he deleted that so fast.
Oh, that's
I think he might have said something he wasn't supposed to, and they
okay.
were like, "Shut up, you still are. This is a whole different movie." Like,
Which that makes me excited because honestly, I'm excited for him as Silver Surfer if he's really
I could see
casted.
that him
Yeah, I
as
could see
Silver
it.
Surfer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that. Oh man, that got me excited for Shang-Chi, like to see Shang-Chi again because like Yeah, I remember there was like, yeah, this thing from space, and it just was never acknowledged afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing in any of there. A lot of stuff hasn't been acknowledged, but yes,
Oh man, R.I.P. Blade.
yeah.
That was supposed to
R.I.P.
come out this year, by the way.
R.I.P. Hercules. R.I.P. Blade.
Oh,
R.I.P.
jeez. Eternals.
Yeah. R.I.P. the Eternals. Like they're all gone.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. That's exciting. Man, I totally forgot about that. Okay, so that team is good. I like those teams. I mean, we got
Oh, what was
Sam.
that? Was that all your team?
No,
Who
let
did
me see.
that was all?
Quill, Thor, definitely Ant-Man on mine. Um,
Cool.
definitely. What's his daughter's name again?
Um, Stinger or oh, what's her stature?
Stature. I think
Yeah.
she's joining her dad on there.
I don't. I
Stature.
think that I think all the kids are going to be doing their own. I think the
The Young
kids.
Avengers?
I think the Young Avengers are going to come into play in Secret Wars.
Okay. Do you think they're going to be led by Steinfeld's Hawkeye in that one?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
she should, if anything, she's at an age that she should be a full on Avenger. She's like a 30
I think
something.
I
She's
think
like
they're
30.
she's going to be they're going to be led by her, and I
Yeah,
think that I have a feeling we haven't the Vision show is being filmed now. I
that's
think the
true.
Vision, the White Vision, is going to somehow come and be with the Young Avengers because in the
Okay.
books in the Young Avengers, a Vision prototype comes and kind of like helps them out.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think Vision's gonna come and they're gonna like be a part of the Secret Wars.
Okay. So I got Sam, Falcon, Quill, Thor, Ant-Man, Stature, Shuri, definitely Wong.
Yeah, okay.
Um, because I feel like we haven't heard from Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is in another.
Yeah,
He's in
he's
another
somewhere
dimension.
with Charlize Theron.
I don't even remember her character. I just know Charlize Theron.
It's Clea, but
Yeah,
and she's what's his name's
yeah,
daughter.
yeah. And I think rounding that out, I think Spider Man for sure.
See, I left Spider-Man out because I still don't I haven't heard I keep hearing he's not in the movie, he is in the movie. I'm
Okay.
on the fence. And then I keep hearing his movie takes place as a prequel or like before
Oh,
what happens in
in
Doomsday.
Doomsday, and it comes
Yeah,
out after Doomsday, which is crazy.
exactly. It's they're I think they're gonna do the same thing like they did Ant-Man.
Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if I'm just not sure if he's actually in the movie. They keep saying
Yeah.
different things, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, if he is in the movie, for sure he's on the team.
Yeah. And obviously the new Avengers and the Sam Wilson's Avengers, they're clearly teaming up and kind of blending together. But and I don't think they're gonna
Oh,
fight.
after they fight, they're absolutely going to fight.
You thinking of like,
They are
yeah,
absolutely going to fight. They are absolutely going to fight. They're going to get
yeah,
the Thunderbolts as much as of them off those names that we just named. They're getting smoked, and
yeah.
then Sentry's going to have to
Sentry,
come alive and just clear
yeah,
everybody out.
yeah. He's gonna level the playing field essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, damn. Do you think, man? Because the funny thing is, like, I don't even know how they're gonna implement Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom into this movie. I'm trying to see the scenarios without like trying to like read up any comics about it, but like it seemed like I don't know. I'm curious how that dynamic's going to be very interesting. And is it going to be like a
What
situation where like our Avengers see him and go like Tony and like because he's from a different dimension, he doesn't right? Like is there going to be that recognition happening, you know?
I I think so. I just my whole thing is I'm not sure how I'm still on the I'm cautiously optimistic just like you about him being in it, but I feel like once we know why he looks like Tony Stark,
Mhm.
then we'll get a better idea what this play. But because that's the one thing is like, why does he look like him? Why does he look
Yeah.
like Iron Man?
Yeah.
My what I'm kind of thinking is maybe I think that and I've heard other people kind of say this too. And I'm kind of like piggybacking off of this one, but
Mhm.
some theories have said that our Tony Stark was a Doom was a Doctor Doom. What is the word
Variant?
for it? Like variant? Yes. Like
Really?
he was like adopted, and he was
Oh,
not
that's wild.
Tony Stark. That's and I'm like, oh, that kind of I could maybe.
Kind of
It's
ruins it for me a little
it's
though. Like it
it's
kind
a
of,
little convoluted, but I'm like
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, kind of ruins it a little bit for me because we all like that growth that Tony Stark had from the first Avenger, from the first Iron Man movie to like the end to Endgame. Like it
Hmm.
showed that growth of like he used to only care about himself, and then now he's the guy that lays on the grenade, right? Like,
Hmm.
so that kind of ruins it a little bit for me. I mean, I could see them. I guess the way that could work is like if there's like that the parallel universe happening, like that Doctor Doom essentially is Tony Stark in a different universe, but instead of being Iron Man, he kind of evolves and becomes Doctor Doom. Like almost like,
Hmm.
yeah, the events just kind of happen differently. That's how I see how that could work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But so in the books, the
Mm-hmm.
way that this all all starts coming to, I mean, yes, the Avengers are gonna the
Yeah.
this world's Avengers are gonna fight, but an incursion starts happening on the two worlds, and I think the other world is gonna be the world where the X-Men are.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think I think what's gonna happen, what I think is gonna happen is Doom is going to come to our world,
Mm-hmm.
and our Avengers are gonna see that he is Tony Stark, or he looks like Tony, and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to believe everything he says that
Yeah.
we need to destroy this world, blah 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 blah
Right.
blah, and he's going to pit that world against our world, and that's but then
Oh.
we're going to get some type of like Avengers versus X-Men type thing because of that. So and
Question for you though. When you just said that, because it made my mind go in different places. Do you think, because we've seen it already with this movie, do you think the Doomsday name is just a placeholder and it'll be Avengers versus X-Men? Like they change it?
no, I don't think they're going to do that
No?
same thing twice, but I think we will get
Okay.
we're going to get Avengers versus X-Men in this.
Okay. Okay.
They're going to
Okay.
give us the Fox X-Men with our MCU characters, and that will
Okay.
be the X-Men versus Avengers thing that
Mm-hmm.
we've kind of been hearing about.
Yeah. My
Um,
question though is that like we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine that timeline essentially was dying, or it died or something, and they kind of fixed it all, whatever. Do you think they just go to a earlier point in time where the X-Men are active, like going to the time after
well,
what
no,
at the end of?
I think they're on the world that Monica Rambeau is stuck on.
So do you
Remember
think
that?
that's
And
like a different X-Men timeline
I think that's a
that's
different X-Men timeline.
sort of similar to the one we know, but kind of mixes in elements of the animated
Yeah,
series, for example? Okay.
exactly. Yeah, I think that
Okay.
that's the world that's going to come and
Yeah.
converge with ours.
Hmm. That's interesting. I am I'm surprised that they gave us all of those names like right off the bat. Like there's
I
gonna
think
be
they're.
like there's
I
definitely gonna be
suppose
surprises, but
supposedly I've heard that we're getting more in like a couple days.
that's insane.
I heard we're getting more in like a couple days.
That's exciting, but it's fucking insane.
Yeah,
They need to give us like a 4 hour movie with an intermission
that's
just
what I'm
for all
saying. This
those
movie needs to be
people.
like 4 hours long and give us a little break in between. Like
Yeah.
how like everyone's gonna have like 5 minutes of screen time with the way
Seriously.
this movie is.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think we get, because I know we're getting into Doomsday now because we're talking about it and getting excited for it, but do you think we get people like Moon Knight? Do we get like, I don't know, was his name on the one of the chairs, like Oscar Isaac, or we don't
I
get
don't
any?
think he's in
Okay.
it. I don't think
But
we're getting.
most you think we get him in Secret Wars? We think like some of these other characters we get him in
Yeah,
Secret Wars?
I think all these other characters. I don't think we're getting no Daredevil, no Frank.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we're getting none of that.
That's a lot of people. Um so my thing, back to Thunderbolts. Do you think there was, besides, I know we talked about more time, if we feel like we had more time on it, we wish there was more time. Do you feel like there was anything missing from Thunderbolts that could have made it a little bit better, could have made it kind of,
I think the only thing that was missing is well, I think there's one character that was missing that I think should have been in this movie. I think Baron Zemo should have been in this
yes.
movie somewhere. Like I feel
Okay.
like in the books
Yeah,
he made the Thunderbolts, even though I know
that's
they
true.
gave the name whole different meaning with
Yeah.
Yelena's football team or soccer team, which was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like Zemo he would have fit perfectly with this team. Even though I could see, I feel like he's the only person on this team that probably at the end would still just double cross everybody, like
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
But I think he was probably missing it. Other than that, could have been a little longer. I think
Okay.
I don't think there was really anything. I love that this movie was so self-contained. I love that there wasn't a bunch of cameos. I love
Me
that
too.
I just it felt like its own thing, and I liked that. It didn't it did you didn't have to if you didn't watch
You
a
didn't
bunch
have to
of
do
the
the
other
homework.
movies, you didn't have to
Yeah.
do the homework. I think the most
Mm-hmm.
homework you had to do was maybe watch Black Widow. Like
Mm-hmm.
even not even not watching Captain America and the Winter Soldier knowing who US agent is. You don't really need
Mm-hmm.
that. You can
Yeah.
find that out later. It's not like in like really necessary.
Yeah. Um, there was an article that came out recently where it talks about how like I guess it was like they interviewed like people who used to work at Marvel, and they were working at Marvel during the quarantine pandemic when we were getting all this content. And they're saying that like for Kevin Feige, doing just working on shit felt like homework, and that all these different projects were happening all at the same time, and people had to chase him down to kind of get something answered or something approved or something, right? And it made me think about like, um, fuck, where was I getting with this? Oh, that's what it was. Um, about if we've been following this stuff since the beginning, but
Hmm.
there's obviously people who want to go watch these movies now that are like, do I have to catch up on 20 plus movies and stuff like that?
Hmm.
And I saw like a comment on Reddit that said like, they should make these new Marvel movies. They should start them out like previously on in the Marvel universe, and sort of have like a recap at the beginning, almost like they do like TV, right?
Hmm.
And like, for example, for something like this, it would have been like previously in the Marvel universe or something, and it would have showed things that let us recap who these people are, almost like showing like how they got to where they are now, like showing like scenes from Captain America and the Winter Soldier and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Black
Hmm.
Widow, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just showing where all these characters came from, just like in like a little 1 minute, 2 minute sequence at the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's
What do you think
fair.
about something like that? Because I feel like that should be a thing. Because if we really want these movies to start to feel like comics, because they're starting to feel like comics. With comics, you could go pick up a book this week, and like doesn't mean that you have to pick up the last 300 fucking books to catch up with
Hmm.
this specific story. Like you can pick it up and just kind of roll with it and pick up the ones you need to. These movies are sort of becoming like that now, where like
Hmm.
you can just start a movie off, and like if you want to like find out what happened to these guys, you doesn't mean you have to start with Iron Man. You can start with Black Widow. You can go to Ant-Man and the Wasp. You can watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like there's all these like little things you could do without having to go. Like, what do you think of that? Like, because
I
Daredevil,
I
for
think that
example, I totally forgot what had happened in Daredevil. This
I'm okay with that. And yeah, sure, why not? You could make that at like one of the previews before like the
hmm
trailers or something, you know? Make it a
hmm
trailer. Like
Yeah,
previously on like make a whole separate trailer that comes on before the movie that says
yeah,
previously on. And you know, that's cool.
yeah. That would be really
I'm
cool.
not mad.
Yeah. Is there any other thoughts on Thunderbolts that you wanted to add? Any kind of theories that you wanted to sort of explore or even talk about that you probably missed?
Um trying to think. I mean I feel like other than, you know, ranking it among where we see it as far as
Oh
Marvel
yeah,
movies, um
I haven't ranked it yet. So your ranking is up in what top 15, top 10?
I have it right now at 11.
Okay, so
And
right after Infinity War.
it might get 10 because I have No Way Home at 10,
Okay,
and I think I like this more than No Way Home. Like
okay,
I think I like this more than No Way Home. It's right in between No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine.
okay, okay. I did want to rewatch it. It's one of those that like I kind of base it on these movies of, do I want to sit down and watch for another 2 hours? I would be down to rewatch it again. That like so that's a good
Hmm.
indicator for me. I haven't ranked them yet, and I still haven't ranked all of my MCU movies, which I kind of need to do. But it's pretty good. It's not forgettable. It's something, and I feel like it's a consequential movie. Like
Hmm.
it's not like Eternals where like it ended, and I'm like I don't really care where these. I mean, I'm curious, but I don't really care what happens after. You know, it felt
Yeah,
consequential, which was good. You know,
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Um,
they did. I said on another thing on my blog that like, do I think like Marvel is back? I don't like saying that. I
yeah.
think I'm not. I think that they. I don't. For one, I don't think Marvel really ever went anywhere because the fact that we
Same.
keep saying Marvel is back every time they drop something means that they never were gone in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that we keep talking about them, that means they're not gone. But
No.
yes, do I recognize that they've had some not great movies in the past
Yeah.
couple of years? Sure, but they've had sprinkles of pretty good stuff. Guardians 3
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, it was solid. And then, everything else in between was like, yeah, whatever. So I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that they're back, but I will say that they are trending. This and Daredevil to me is trending in the right direction. Like,
Mm.
please,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that Fantastic Four is good. And I keep forgetting that uh, Ironheart comes out next month, even though I have
Yeah.
not seen one piece of footage or trailer from that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that is good, and I'm hoping Wonder Man is good. So if all that could be good in time for me for Doomsday to come out, then I'm yes. Then I will
Yeah.
say, and then Doomsday is good. I'm like, all right, yeah, Marvel's back. Like,
It's
Marvel's,
it's 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 wild because, and I think we've been talking about it since, but I think Marvel reached almost, I don't want to say too high, but Endgame was such a peak
Mhm.
that like it was on like on a cinematic level, on a cultural level, on like a just an overall just storytelling level and an achievement that they were able to do this over 20 movies. It was such a peak that like anything that came after, people as people knew that you couldn't compare the next few movies, but like I think people were like, "Oh, is it going to be exciting like Endgame?" It's like you can't like it's almost like that was a restart after that. And I think people
Mhm.
couldn't cope with that restart of like what comes after, you know? And I think like it's almost like they were victims of their own success because every
Yeah.
movie they've done, I really liked it. Shang-Chi was awesome. Eternals, I know we're talking shit about it, but like I was very entertained in Eternals. Like it's a
I mean,
beautiful movie.
there's some that we don't like.
Yeah.
Th- Thor and Love and Thunder might be the worst Marvel movie. Like the more I think about that movie, I'm like, man, that was not that good. Like,
It's funny cuz I've forgotten about it. I literally for
like,
me I was like, yeah, Thor Ragnarok. I was like, "Oh yeah, there was a whole fourth one that came
yeah,
out." Yeah.
like that one is like the one where I'm like, arguably, like, yeah, that wasn't that great. Quantumania also, I thought that was gonna be good, wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Though those are like the main two things. Even Eternals, like I rewatched that. It's not that bad. Like it's just
Yeah.
like you said, it's kind of forgettable. It's not bad.
Just
It's like
forgettable. Nothing
yeah,
happens. Yeah.
nothing happened. Nothing was. It was whatever. But it wasn't a
Yeah.
bad movie. It's actually one of the better looking movies
Mhm.
of the. It looks like
Yeah.
a movie.
And
So
I think we've barely seen the consequences of that movie with Brave New World.
mhm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
also, Brave New World, not my favorite.
Yeah, it was
Like,
but it's not. It wasn't bad. It was just
yeah, predictable.
yeah, and also I think that was a victim of its trailers. I feel like they tried to use the Red Hulk to sell that movie, and
Yeah.
it literally gave away the entire third act of the
Hmm.
film, where it was like,
Yeah.
okay, I already saw
Yeah.
this entire thing.
Yeah.
Whereas,
And I
like, that's
also,
the, I think that my bad, but that's
no,
the, I
good.
think that's the difference between where I said, even though I saw this whole Bucky scene, the motorcycle scene, it didn't. That wasn't the movie. That wasn't the
Yeah.
like. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there was
Yeah.
so much more that I hadn't seen, but
Yeah. Even,
they
even
literally.
even the killing of people in the like people being voided, I guess
Hmm.
the shadow, like that was shocking, but it wasn't like the big reveal thing. It was just like
Yeah,
that's something interesting that happens. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah.
No, and I was gonna say that Brave New World was also a victim of its own release date because we what it came out a few months ago. We're in the
February,
middle of yeah February. We had
Valentine's Day.
just got yeah, so we just got Trump back in office, and you have a fucking movie where the president turns a weird reddish color and destroys Washington. Like it was way too on the nose on a very cinematic level that I was like, it feels like I don't like it because we're really going through that shit right now. And he's
And,
not in prison. So
that, and also, like, that movie's also a victim of, a bunch of rewrites, a bunch of
yeah,
filming. Like, you could kind of
yeah,
tell, and that,
yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah,
but even
yeah.
with
If
all that, it's not a bad movie.
it's not bad, it's
Thor: Love and
watchable.
Thunder is worse than that.
Yeah.
That's what-
Christian Bale was in a completely different movie. Like he was acting his ass off, and like
yeah,
he was not getting anything back from Taika.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can't with that movie.
yeah,
But other than that, a lot
yeah,
of solid things.
yeah,
They
yeah,
they they are Marvel, like you said, they have, after Endgame, they've kind of tripped in a little bit to this point, but there have been
yeah,
like
yeah,
wins. They're just
yeah,
like, I'm almost
yeah.
there, like, you know.
Marvel has a standard now. Here's the thing: Marvel has a standard, and I'm not just Marvel. I think Disney, because I feel like there's like a certain baseline level that Disney hits that is entertaining and it's watchable and it's fun, but it's forgettable. And like I felt that way with, for example, Skeleton Crew, the Star Wars show.
Hmm.
I what I got through, it was fun, but I'm not, it's a little forgettable. Like Brave New World, not bad. It was fun. It was exciting, but kind of forgettable. Something like Andor, and something like Thunderbolts. It's like, oh, like they go past that level, and it's exciting, and you're exciting to watch it. Like, so I feel like yes, Marvel had their baseline is higher than most companies, but like
Hmm.
it's I think because we're comparing it to their peak, and I think like because we're comparing it to that peak, even with their baseline level, it's still better than most, and it's still digestible. It's like good fast food. It's like sometimes you get really good fast food, but then their peak is like really high end good restaurant kind of shit. I don't know. It's a weird comparison. I'm hungry, I guess.
No, I feel you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. As long, I just feel like as long as these next couple of I'm getting kind of scared about Ironheart. But like, if these next couple of projects do good, Marvel will be fine.
yeah. I thought I saw like a leaked video. I wanted to send it to you guys, but it got like
I saw it. It was fake.
it was fake, right? Where it showed Mephisto.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was fake.
it looked fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, anything else to add? I mean, it seems like we're excited. I mean, we've been on board. We haven't hopped off the Marvel train, so it's
No,
we're it's just not as consistent as it used to be. But
hmm,
when it's good, and we enjoy
yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's fine.
cool. Anything else to add?
Um, where's the Superman trailer?
Oh,
And yeah, Like,
when Superman comes out, that's gonna be a good podcast. I'm excited for
yeah,
that.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
well, that's gonna be a fun one to talk about. And
yeah.
Fantastic Four, they come out like a week
And
after each other.
that is gonna be crazy. That is this summer is gonna be wild. We got Fantastic Four and we got Superman in the same month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. But I guess that'll be it for this one. Once again, Nerds at the Cool Table at Cool Table Podcast. You can find us on all socials. And again, when we assemble, we'll always assemble. Sorry, we're missing Yusef right now. But like, um, again, tune in for next time, and thanks for listening.
Peace.